So there's this new kid on the block, if you will, called Ruff. And Ruff is a linter that seems to be a powerful alternative to Flake 8. And let's do this. Python Ruff. There might be, it's so common that I suspect there will even be a guide for how to switch. Is this the right place to go? And because it's written in Rust, so it's written in Rust, but it works on Python code and checks against Python code. May also check against other stuff, I'm not sure, but I know that at least checks against that. But here's the important thing. It says it's a drop-in parity for Flake 8, Isort, and Black. Oh, that's fascinating. If we could get all three in one fell swoop, that'd be really cool. Yeah, it has linter and formatter. Oh, that's cool. This might also have the benefit of simplifying our pre-commit file. We should check on that. Because right now, you can see I've got Black, Isort, and Flake 8. And what I don't know about is this one, Flake 8 Bugbear. That's the one reservation I had about it, is Flake 8 Bugbear is supposed to catch some extra stuff. But maybe it's worth throwing it out. Like if this is the speed, like I don't know how much I was actually getting out of Flake 8 Bugbear, which is like an extra set of lint checks. Let's search for that actually. Python, Ruff, Flake 8 Bugbear. You saying it does, John? Oh, interesting. Wow, these guys crushed it. Cool. I don't know what I have to tell it to use that, but we'll figure that out too. That's pretty cool. Let me clear out some of these other tabs. I've got too much junk up here. Okay. So I know that this is something we can install. I have no experience with it, so we will just explore this together and see what we have to do. I'm gonna go through this as a brand new user, just like you. Well, maybe not just like you. I think maybe John has done this, but for those of you who haven't played with Ruff before, and we'll see what the experience is like. So right off the bat, it's pretty compelling. Like you can see, it's fast. And that's what you want out of these kind of tools. Like you want this basically to be the speed of thought here. Is better. I'm really curious how they managed to do that with Black too. That's really fascinating how they keep up to date with that. But I'm willing to trust that they do it. Oh, there it is right there. Flake 8 Bugbear. We have all the support we want. We get a single configuration file. Can't remember if I had more than one configuration file. Yeah, so here's the problem, or a problem with Flake 8, is that it's an older project and it doesn't support PyProject.toml. So if we switch to Ruff, we get to kill off this file, which is cool. Might have to set some max line length stuff and like, yeah, we'll see how we migrate this thing. Because if it's a drop-in replacement, that tells me that it maybe respects all the existing configuration files. We'll see about that. Like, and if I can, what I have to do I want to migrate over to a single file. How do we make sure we do it along the way? Built-in caching, that sounds neat. 700 built-in rules, works with editors. Ooh, okay. So let's open this. What did I put in here? Put in nothing. So how about let's start a new list. And so integrate with repo. Now this is where, so because it's a personal project, there's an element of this where it has to work for me. So I need to integrate with NeoVim, which may be a detour that you're like, why are we going there? But it's important for me, so I'm going to do it. covers my PyChecks. Good grief, how much does this stuff do? It's like the one tool to rule them all. That would be fantastic. So these are minimally there. Well, then we got to do pre-commit. We need to do CI. We can do all those things. Actually, I guess if we get pre-commit, we get CI for free because we're using pre-commit CI, which has that ability to run that stuff. And yeah, if it's that fast, I have a feeling pre-commit CI is happy to use it. Okay, so let's get rid of that template. We don't need to look at that. Let's go look at the docs again. Ruff aims to be orders of magnitude faster than alternate tools, while integrating more functionality behind a single common interface. Can be used to replace Flake 8, Black, Isort, which are all three tools that I use. PyUpgrade, really? I also use PyUpgrade. Don't use AutoFlake, but that's okay. I don't use PyDocs now. Wow, so fascinating. Okay. Let's do this next tutorial. So I want to install this most likely. How do I want to install this? Did I install those other ones as dev packages? I probably did. Yeah, I'm sure I did. No, I didn't. So I think maybe it's just like a... I installed that globally? What? Or maybe I'm just assuming that it was available. Yeah, I must have installed it globally. So I'm being a little sloppy with my project, frankly. Sorry. So let's put this in here. Let's go to PyPI and say Ruff. Are they really at 0.1.6? Interesting. Okay. Whoa. So it's installing Ruff. Neat. We now have that available. So it looks like the command is Ruff check. Expected at least one path to search for Python files. Did I not read the docs? Is there a dot there? Oh, sneaky. Thanks, John. Wow, that is mind-bogglingly fast. It's going to say 0, I bet. 0.01 seconds. That's so cool. I want to run it again. I am shocked at how fast that is. I guess I shouldn't be. Rust is a crazy fast language. It's basically C-level performance. So that's amazing. And there's a fixed mode, which we can have here, but I don't think I think it's going to be rare that I'm going to be using Ruff directly like this. It's probably most likely going to be that I integrate it with NeoVim, which will run it automatically as a background thing once I figure it out, and integrate it with CI or pre-commit so that it runs just like all of the commit checks that you have been seeing. So we will unlikely be running this by hand. All right. There are some configuration options that I'm sure we need to set. We need to migrate over. Why do they have their own TOML file? Maybe they plan to be a tool outside of Python, so you can do it like a general tool. Not really sure about that. All right, we have a PyProject TOML. Let's come down to here. Tool, Ruff, 88. I wonder what the default is. Because if we don't have to set the line length, if it automatically, like let's say if it says it's compatible with black, then perhaps it's automatically set to 88, which would be another configuration that we could get rid of. Line length, and it said 88 there, but what's the default? How does one find out the default? Is this the default? Aha, Ruff's default configuration is equivalent to 88. So cool. I don't even have to set that anymore. I love tools that I don't have to think about. If I could walk away from this and it's just no configuration and then I just run it and be a happy person. All right, let's keep going. Add line too long to the enforced rule set. By default, Ruff omits rules that overlap with use of a formatter. We can override this behavior to explicitly add the rule. All right, I don't want to do that. You can see I ignore 501, so that's telling me that I don't have to keep this because it automatically does that deconflicting. That's awesome. And it's cool that they're breaking this up into sections. Like these are the global options. This is for the linting stuff. I wonder if the requires Python is the hint for the PyUpdate stuff. I want to see how that gets triggered. We have this settings page we're gonna have to read through. Because that's the challenge with this is it sounds really cool, but it's like, how do I know that all of my options are added from those other tools? Is it just automatic? Python, what was it? Requires? Required version. No, that wasn't it. Requires Python. Requires the minimum Python version to target, for example, when considering automatic code upgrades like rewriting type annotations. Ruff will not propose changes using features not available in the given version. If you're already using a PyProject TOML, we recommend requires Python instead. This is based on Python packaging standards. Okay. So I think we do have to set this. Now, I am using the runtime of 3.11. We can't do 3.12 yet. So what we should do is project requires Python, right? And then equal to greater than or equal to 3.11. Yes? Now let's try that rough check command again, see if anything changes. Nope. Cool. All right, let's continue on the tutorial. Okay, there are 700 lint rules. Determining the right set will depend on your project needs. Some rules may be too strict. Some are framework specific and so on. Okay. By default, Ruff enables Flake 8's F rules, along with a subset of E rules, omitting any stylistic rules that overlap the use of format, like black. Okay. Default rule set's a great place to start. Agreed. If you're migrating to Ruff from another linter, you can enable rules that are equivalent to those enforced. If we want to enforce PyUpgrade rules, we can set our configuration to the following. Okay, we want to do up for PyUpgrade. Let's take this. Let's come to the bottom, paste that in. Run the check, see if anything changes. Which it shouldn't, because I had the pre-commit stuff already set, I think. Pre-commit. It was already set to 311. So PyUpgrade stuff should already be caught. Oh man, I bet Anthony has opinions about Ruff. All right. So far, so good. I don't want to use PyDoc style. Just not that interested. And because of that, I don't need to set a convention. Ignoring errors, that's useful. Adding rules. I mean, so far it's been working fine between checks. Integrations. Hey. Ruff the linter, Ruff the formatter. All right, all right. So just take this and copy it in here. Like that. And we said I want to keep the versions matching, so that would be, what did we just say? It was 0.1.6, right? I'll leave the comments. They're not hurting. And let's add this stuff to the stage and try and commit so that it will try and run the new hook. Make sure everything's still working. Wow, it's so fast you can't even see. Well, maybe it didn't have any Python code to scan. All right. Yeah, okay, it skipped everything. Okay, I'm going to assume this works. Let's do this. Let's take out PyUpgrade. Let's let Ruff do it. Let's leave Django upgrade until maybe Ruff does that too. I'd be a little surprised at that one. But let's take out black and Isort and Flake 8. If I forget about Bugbear, somebody holler at me. But I'm going to keep going with the configuration until I'm confident that we're getting stuff. So we've stripped this down. We still have Django upgrade stuff. We still have some security checks with Bandit. We have our PyTest options here, MyPy, which we haven't touched on. I guess the Isort config can go away. Ugh. Oh, that's interesting. How is this? Does Ruff understand Isort's configuration and profile? Do I need to tell Ruff about the source path for the import formatters? Huh. That'll be, because it's going to be weird to be like, well, I have an Isort config block in here, but it's actually Ruff that's doing the work. That's something I would like to get rid of, but we don't have to do that right away. Okay. Thanks, John. I assume there's going to be more, and I'm not done in the. I'm at the end of the tutorial, but I was going to keep going. So yeah, I appreciate you pointing that out. Let's, for the moment, delete the setup CFG file, because we're pretty sure that we're not going to need that. And let's just see if Ruff is like changing things now. I modified a bunch of stuff. Nope. Everything's happy so far. Right? You got the new pre-commit, new section, requirements. Awesome. Okay. So, tutorial over. It incorporated the highlights. Move on. We have installed this with directly a pip. Oh, Ruff format. Okay, that's a different command, but I did run that with pre-commit, so I think we're okay. And there's other ways to install it. I'm not going to install globally. I'll leave it as a developer dependency, and I'll have this. Well, maybe that's dumb. I might need to install globally to make Neovim happy, but we'll worry about that later. All right, here's the linter. Okay, so dozens of plugins. Rough check. Rule selection. Setting. We've got select, extend, select, and ignore. Ruff's linter mirrors Flake8's rule code system, in which each rule code consists of one to three letter prefix followed by 3 digits. Prefix indicates the source. Rule selectors like select and ignore accept either a full rule code or any valid prefix. For example, see this. Okay. Ruff would enable all the rules with the E, so that's Pycode style. So this used to have a different name. What was it? Shoot. It was renamed Pep8. That's what it was. I don't know how I forgot that. But I guess it was because there's more than just Pep8. Or it wasn't completely Pep8. I don't know, one of those two things. Doesn't really matter. PyFlakes, that's Flake8 basically. Or Flake8 is the combination of Pycode style and PyFlakes. If you're wondering how to configure, prefer select over extend select. Okay. Use all with discretion. Yep. Makes sense. Ah, there is the bugbear stuff. So let's do, I guess we need, what did I already have a lint section? Yeah. And then we'll say select equal EFB. Is that what it was? Yeah. EFB. And future me is going to be like, what are these letters? But that's okay. Oh, hello. How did those get through before? Maybe I committed it before I had checking on. I guess I wasn't running it on everything pre-commit. Okay. Let's go fix some stuff. Accounts, migrations, 01. What was it? Line 81, 89? Yep, 80. Oh, no QA. Shut up. Oh, yeah, that was it. You're right, John. I excluded the migrations directory, I think. Well, that was for coverage. I think in the past, I have not excluded migrations. And I've actually gone in there. Like if I search for no QA, I bet some other migrations directories will come up. Yeah. I don't remember why I did that. Just didn't, yeah, don't remember. Probably not a big deal, but. All right, did that make it happy? All right, cool. Send mail line 34. That one's surprising to me. Okay. I mean, I should be able to do this. And break it here. There we go. Okay. And then the settings file. 109. Was it that one? 109. Yeah, these ones get long. Okay, happy again. Cool. Let's carry on. What does Flakegate simplify? Oh yeah, this I should definitely use this. And then get rid of the configuration I have. I don't know what Flakegate simplify is. We'll check that out in a minute. But at the very least, set with that with the select we want. Now I won't be asking those questions of what is E, F, and so on. Let's go do that search. Flake 8 simplify. What are you? Simplify your code. Why did it take me to the issue list? Can I have an example? Don't. Okay. Cool. You can use git ignore as an exclude from checks worth a setting. Huh, interesting. Sorry, y'all. I should find the mute button faster. All right, what's left in here? So we've got a good, reasonable configuration, it seems, and everything is still passing, as far as I can tell. I do still want to understand the Isort stuff, so I'm going to keep going through here. This is the fixes, fix safety. I'm sure there's some details that I should care about, but I'll do that later. Disabling fixes, error suppression. Yeah, if I was good, I would do no QA with the specific error, but I'm not. Okay. Isort action comments. right? Maybe this is the Isort stuff's going to be in the rules. We'll keep going. Or it might be a settings thing that we'll get to. Let's go to the formatter section. Don't innovate on style, but innovate on performance. I'm down for that. Okay, so it sounds like it doesn't have perfect compatibility. Oh, there's a whole section for this. You have an ignore on the removal of import not used during a fix. Oh, will it auto remove imports that aren't used? I could see that being annoying. It's kind of like Go. It's like Go will fail to compile if you have imports. So there are some tools that will like auto clean them up, but it's like, no, I wanted you to leave that around for a moment. I like to save frequently. Hard getting all this stuff perfect. I'm gonna try and ride with like the defaults as much as possible. I mean, obviously I'm making a little adjustment here and there, but if I can get away with just following like what's in their basic documentation and then just clean out other stuff, that's the biggest win for me, I think. And then I can get comfortable with other things if I need to. All right. Quote style, don't care. Format suppression, okay. Conflicting rules, don't care. You've already picked the set that I care about. Intentional deviation. That's fascinating. I wonder if there's like performance reasons why I would intentionally deviate. Okay. That's probably good enough. Configuring Ruff. If left unspecified, Ruff's default configuration is to... Okay, that's good. That's a pretty good list. Bazaar. Man, I miss Bazaar. I don't know if any of you use Bazaar, but it had a... I don't know. It was more appealing to me than the way that Git did stuff. Although I think my opinions have evolved in that time period. The Git stage does have some nice attributes. It's also confusing. So Bazaar was like what a next version of SVN should have been. But it had like first class branch support, which SVN I would say did not. Although people would debate that. SVN was like server side branches, copies. Not great. Showing my age. All right, let's keep going. So here's... They told us to use the Python require, so I'm going to assume that if you have it at the project level, it'll prefer that over target version. Here's our select, fixes, quotes, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Man, what are all these? What are Q? Q? So many checks. Yeah. File discovery is looking for PyProject TOML. That's good. Did I have any other config files hiding somewhere? What do we have? We have that's the database file. We got the PyProject HAML. Okay. Got my vimrc. I think we're good. I think we've really narrowed it down to like as much as possible one configuration file. That is awesome. Now my one configuration file is a bit of a mess right now because of MyPy, but it's not bad. It could be worse. Could be worse. All right. So we've got the config file. That's cool. Python file discovery. Exclude. Okay, you can find those. That's cool. Still want landline. I don't ever use shell autocompletion. Is it like? Does anybody use that? Is it fish people? Fish shell users. I feel fish people. It's like a conspiracy theory. I meant fish users. I like their stuff does like shows you like what possible commands are there. Kind of crazy. That seems powerful. I just never got into it. All right, what's this preview thing? Preview mode. I don't know that I need that because I'm already kind of up to date with stuff. I'm gonna ignore. Rules. All right, here we go. So we got our PyFlake stuff. That's all the F series. PyCode style, W and E. Did I skip W? Should I include W? Tab indentation, trailing white space. No new line. I'm feeling like maybe W should be there. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Which is good. That means that I'm already like compliant with W. Okay, I'm gonna keep them. Got our error stuff. McCabe. I never use that stuff. I think people's behavior when they actually do McCabe is just either ignore or change their settings. Rarely do I see people actually react to McCabe in a way of like, okay, I'm going to really simplify my functions. I think it's just noise. Unsorted, missing. PEP 8 naming. I could see this getting really nitpicky really fast. And some part of me that likes rules wants to turn all this stuff on. I'm trying to resist that temptation. It's like good enough code. I don't need all these other things. There are some that I do need. Like this makes my life easier. Upgrade stuff is like, sure, make my life easier. But the other stuff about nag me about things not being named correctly, pass. Blakey 2020. Annotations. Yeah. MyPy's cool. Annotations are cool, but don't think I need them all. Bandit. Can it do Bandit stuff? I mean, it seems like it can. I don't know if it's the exact list of for Bandit. Let's check this out. Are you just a pass-through for Bandit? Like a bugbear uses bandit, uses the prefix B. Okay, so we place it. Okay. Well, shoot. If I could get bandit in my... Yeah, I think that's worth it. Because I already have bandit for security check, but I only get it at pre-commit time. And if I could get it basically for free by adding this Flake8 bandit thing, that brings me closer to what I already had. So it's not really burdensome. It catches it. The nice part about that would be showing a bandit error early, because presumably, like what I'm able to do with NeoVim, which I haven't done yet, is integrate Ruff into my editor, and then I'd get warnings would show up in the gutter from anything that Ruff found, and would run faster than Flake and Black, which I'm currently using, which would be nice. I might have to change my. There's a bunch of stuff I have to change. Boo. Okay, but I want to do bandit, which was this one, which is S. So let's put this in here. I guess we'll just put it at the bottom, or put it right. Keep the. It's not even alpha sorted. What is this? Pi F. Okay, whatever. Flake8 bandit. That is S. How does it do? Hopefully nothing. Oh, boo. All right, he's complaining about Isort, which is something that I have in my pre-commit as checking for PyProject.toml. Why are you not checking? You're looking for a bandit file or something? To include or exclude tests, use the standard bandit configuration file. I don't want a standard bandit configuration file. I want to use PyProject.toml. Nope. All right. Forget it. Not worth the headache. I still got it in pre-commit. It's good enough. That's disappointing. Although I'm like at this point I'm looking at gift horse in the mouth. This is pretty awesome overall, but it would have been nice if it had just done the right thing. Okay, keep going. More Flake8 plugins, bugbear, built-ins, commas, copyright. Holy cow! All right, there's so many of these things. I can go crazy. Flake8 Django. I don't care. Executable future. All right, we're halfway there. Logging formatting. What is this one? PYI. Oh. If you have annotation files, probably. Okay. I see your comment there, John. I guess what I was understanding is like I'd have to move my bandit configuration to be that .bandit file, and I don't want to create another separate configuration file. Or are you saying like, oh, I think I see what you're saying is you could say have Ruff exclude that particular check. All right, I understand. Well, we're saying keep Flake8 bandit and then tell it to shut up about 101 here, rather than do that with. So right now, I'm complaining. I have it for skipping B101 and 311. So we could say move those skips into the configuration, the Ruff configuration. What was the syntax? Was it ignore? Ignore, yeah. So if we did, so let's confirm that it's going to complain again. Whoops. Got to write the file. It's going to complain. All right. And then we say ignore. This time I'll write down what they are. Bandit. Isort checking. Roughly what that one is. Or you know what? Just I'll use the name from here. Bandit, use of Isort detected. S101. There's a challenge here, I guess, in that now I have to keep both the Bandit section and the Ruff section, so I'm duplicating a little bit. It's probably okay. If it allows me to like not create another configuration file, I'm okay with that. And then wait. Models 19. Maybe that was a real one. Entry models 19. Standard pseudo-random generators are not suitable for cryptographic. It's not cryptographic. So John, I'm going to keep the Bandit section because I'm going to keep it in pre-commit. Oh, I don't. No, never mind. If Ruff is now running this, you're right. I'm not thinking this through. If I can get rid of it here, because I can also get rid of it here and let Ruff take over running Bandit through Flake 8. So thanks for challenging me on that, John. Appreciate it. And really, for this one, I shouldn't ignore 311. I should put it at the other side. That's what I should do. So I'm going to leave just 101. And then up here, where I'm using random choice, I'm going to say, shut up, Bandit. So there's 311. I should be able to say, no QA S311. Because I'm not using it for cryptographic reasons. All right. That's optimal, I think. Because I don't want to globally ignore that, because, like, who knows? Maybe there's a future where I do something cryptographic with this project. I doubt it, but hey, never know. All right, cool. So we've got that. PyTest. Quotes. Raise, return. Jeez. What is all this stuff? There's just so many. Ooh, PyLint? Really? Man, that's bold. Although, so I'm not being very charitable. PyLint has some good checks in there. Sometimes it gets a little too opinionated. The other problem, or my other big problem with PyLint, is that it was super slow comparatively. I think even, was PyLint on that list? Probably was. Let's go back to this other page. Yeah. Like, it's way slow. And this is being generous. Like on a big project, I've seen Pylint take forever. I use it at work for one of my repos at work. And the biggest one, big monolith, it takes a long time. But it catches some good stuff. That's the challenge, double-edged sword. All right, almost there. Triceratops, fly, NT, numpy, airflow. We're getting to the kind of obscure ones here. Oh, interesting. Ruff put in some opinions of their own, I guess. What happens if we run that? That's just curious. How does the project call itself? Capital R. These would be RUF, right? Okay, do I want to mess with this? No, that one doesn't seem worth it to me. All right, good enough. Pretty good list. That was the last one. Now, we do still have to figure out that the one thing I want to still figure out before we can call it total victory is how do I get this out of here? How do I get the Isort section gone? So let's get rid of this page. Settings. Let's see if Isort shows up. Here's Isort. And then what is the thing called? Source paths. So we need to have equivalent behavior. Maybe they have source paths. Nope. What's the equivalent to source paths? I should add the rough. Do I have a? It seems to already be there. You're saying add the rough cache. Do I have that? Did it show up? There's rough cache. I wonder why that's already being ignored. Let's look. Git ignore. Rough. Nope. Maybe it's because it's a dot. No, that wouldn't make sense. Shouldn't ignore. Or is there nothing in it? Perhaps there's nothing in it yet. No. Definitely something in there. I'm not missing this, right? No, there's... Seems to be ignored. Ow. I didn't commit that by accident, did I? I haven't made a commit yet. Yeah, there's nothing here. That's the git log command. How are you getting ignored? Is there a way to... I'm sure there's some kind of way to tell the... what rule is being applied, but I don't know what it is. Or maybe it's all the files in there are of names that show up in this list and they just happen to get ignored. Not really sure. Okay. Let's search for rough source paths. See what happens. Source path. I don't know, man. That seems like... Or is this known first party? I always thought it was kind of a weird name for Isort. Let's go to the Isort documentation. Oh my goodness. Got this 2 split up. Add an explicitly defined source path. Modules within source paths have their imports automatically categorized as first party. Or maybe I can just say journal as known first party. All right, hold on. A list of modules to consider first party, regardless of whether they can be identified as such via introspection of the file system. All right, let me try for a moment. Well, first of all, let's take all these changes and stage them. Yeah. We've got our stage. And then let's try to comment out this section. And then let's run Ruff check. Or was it going to be Ruff format? So maybe it just figured it out. In which case, awesome. Let's test it. Let's come up here. Delete this, and I want to do a no auto write. No auto command write, so that my black formatting does not automatically run. So it's going to leave that with no space between them. And let's run both. Let's run Ruff check first. Okay, it's complaining. It is fixable. So what is that? -- fix. Cool. All right, so apparently I figured it out, which is great. Even less configuration. So I don't even have to worry about it. Cool. I'm not really interested in MyPy right now. Let's get rid of that. All right, we're pretty close. We have reduced a lot of tools. The entire file is 47 lines. It's pretty amazing. And everything seems to be running properly. Pre-commit -a. I thought it was, oh no, okay. Pre-commit run -a is cool. Pretty fast too. Okay, neat. I don't want to scan through all of those other things again, because it looks like these are settings that are related to a lot of those plugins. We've got settings related to Ruff itself, top level settings. But everything seemed to be working. And there's some stuff that we can control on Bandit, some stuff we control on Bugbear. But I don't care. All right, I dig it. Versioning. So yeah, let's explain that versioning story to me. They've never had a major version, I guess. That's quite a commitment to backwards compatibility so far. Oh yes. We have to think about these other tools. So we've got pre-commit. And if we have type checking, yeah, I probably would benefit from some type checking later. And I just don't want to do it yet. I don't know. I think what's happening, so here's why I'm not really interested in doing it, is because I'm getting some type checking automatically from NeoVim. Well, I'm not getting it from NeoVim. I'm getting it from my Python LSP, language server protocol server, which is running the LSP that powers VS Code, which is why actually, like, if you've seen me coding, like, let's bring up, I don't know, some of the models files. There will be, nope, not here, apparently. Here we go. So it's a little overzealous sometimes. Like, there's this diagnostic of, I don't care about this particular check, but I would have to tell my editor to ignore that stuff. So that's also, it's doing some type checking already for me, but I'm just not getting at the CI level. But since I'm the only one really writing code right now, and my editor is helping me, I don't feel a strong need to do that at the moment. So we have it on pre-commit. That's great. Oh, it has it. There you go. Oh, I see what you're saying. It has it, but I just rolled over it. Okay. What did they call it? What section was it in, John? Was it in the settings? Just like my eyes just scanned right by it. Maybe it's just late in the evening for me. I would have expected to see MyPy, but oh, type checking. That's what you're saying. Or maybe that was a. So is this the same as MyPy? Flaky type. Oh. It's doing some specific stuff for the typing module. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, for the reasons I outlined, I'm not really like gonna dig super deep into that right now. Looks like there's some stuff on Vim and NeoVim. Let's explore that. I suspect it's something we can just add to Mason or add via Mason. Ruff support. Oh, interesting. There's a Ruff LSP. So I could go deep on this if I wanted to. But I also have my own LSP. That's weird. I'm getting confused by this. Oh, okay. So this is standard LSP stuff, and there's like a rough LSP configuration. Okay. Is this what I have to do in order to hook this in? I shouldn't think so. I've got... All right. Hold on. Let's go into my editor config for a minute. So right now I have like some Python tools. I've got formatters hooked up this way. It's running black and Isort on save. But maybe I don't want to do that. Although, crap. So I know that null ls is this like recently dead project, sadly. Although there might be a fork that's maintaining it. Got to the mute button that time. Okay, anyway, so there's the way this is working in my NeoVim setup currently. It's like I have this this concept was having a tool that will integrate into the LSP interface. So NeoVim has hooks that let you go into LSP, and LSP, one of them is like a formatting option. It's somewhere up above here. I'm drawing a blank on a specific command name. Here it is, buff format. Okay. So in order to make use of that, you have to have a formatter available. So it's looking for this. So in order to make that formatter available, like sometimes our formatters are not provided, like the Python language, the LSP that I have, doesn't provide formatting. So in order to actually get formatting for Python, I had to use this null ls, which is things that are not meant to be language servers themselves, but they want to hook into some piece of the language server protocol. And this was the way to do that. And it was, maybe not optimal. Like, I think what these will do is just kind of run serially on save, but null ls is kind of smoothing over that roughness between the expectations of what the LSP does and what's provided by other tools. So there's a question of, does Ruff have one of these? Can I integrate that? But there's also like some of the stuff comes from other tools. So you can see I've got LSPs, but I also have this linter section. So the linting I'm getting is currently from Flake8 directly. But I bet down here is Ruff. There it is. Install. Install, go. All right, so now I've got Ruff. That's good. Question is like, so Ruff's probably also going to show up here? What did I just do? Didn't mean to do that, I guess. I tried to hit Control F to go forward. So Ruff is not on Mason's formatter list. So it doesn't behave as a formatter, at least from Mason's point of view. But it is installed as a lint. It's like, I don't understand how this is going to all be wired up. So there's a chance that I'm actually still getting some stuff from Isort. Shoot. Okay, what happens now? Let's get out of here. Let's go back to that models file. All right, still doing it. So did Isort do that or did Ruff do that? Now I don't know. Okay. So maybe there's nothing I need to do. Ruff can be integrated into any editor that supports the language server protocol. I might have to play with this offline. There's a bunch of stuff there. I don't have to put this in GitHub Actions. So I have my tests running there, but remember, all of my CI checks are run by pre-commit CI. In fact, let's take this out, my pie. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, John. I don't know if I can actually, if I'm not even sure. How do I turn off black in my, there might be a way to, well, yeah, you're right. I mean, I could go to my vimrc and just like literally disable it. Disable, I guess in this case it would be Isort. Oh, Isort was in the check section. Or sorry, Ruff was in the linter section. And so those would show up as linter changes. But Ruff doesn't run as a format thing right now. Okay, I'm not going to fret about it. It's pretty late. I think I've been going for quite a while. So let's see. Let's do one scan through this and declare victory. So we cleaned up a bunch of stuff out of pre-commit. Like almost all of it. We're left with the linter and the formatter from Ruff. It found some stuff. That's cool. We fixed those things. We get a much simpler overall PyProject HOML. We add Ruff. We delete that other config file. Yeah, I feel good. So John, I appreciate the suggestion of switching this. I know I was kind of hesitant, but I do think seems like a clear win. I didn't realize it had all this power. I thought it was just like a Flakegate replacement. So yeah, I appreciate the encouragement to go check it out. Replace lots of tools with Ruff. And that fixes what number? Um, 36. So we'll say we did do something, so that's fine. We got those. This fixes 36.